My name is Wade480p, live in New Orleans. I'm a real estate developer and general contractor.
What did you lose in the hurricane?
Everything. That amounted to about 13 buildings, my personal house, rental houses, my company, all of our vehicles. We lost everything that we could lose.
And were you prepared for this at all in any way?
In no way can you be prepared to get wiped out. Impossible.
And you've lived through other hurricanes here, obviously.
Well, there's hurricanes and there's hurricanes. This is, when I was right out of graduate school, I was hired by a General Electric company to, as a professional architect, to bring in all the federal money on the Mississippi Gulf Coast after Hurricane Camille. But it did not hit New Orleans, it hit Mississippi. And therefore, I was a consultant going over there every day. And so I was very well exposed to some of the issues that you could face as a result of a hurricane of that magnitude. But there was only one other hurricane when it was populated that hit New Orleans, and of course you didn't have the development you had when Camille hit. When Katrina hit. So obviously the devastation was huge with Katrina.
Where were you when this happened with Katrina?
I was here to 9 o'clock at night on Sunday, drove all night to Houston, Texas. When I got there, I was staying with one of my friends, and I asked him, I said, well, how did New Orleans make out? He said, well, y'all are fine. So I said, they fed me breakfast, and this is about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I went to bed, and when I got up at 3, turned the TV on, it was an entirely different story, and the city was underwater.
So you must have been pretty anxious, obviously, not just for the property, but just for family.
Well, when you spend your whole life building a business, your identity has ceased once you get that level of destruction. So you no longer are who you were. And it's like starting all over. And at age 60, that's not easy.
And now, how do you feel about this now? Have you kind of like emotionally, put yourself back together?
Well, with every trauma comes some good things. And my wife and I married, probably the best thing could ever happen to me in my life. And now we're pretty close to, we're about 85% rebuild at this point in time, or actually making acquisitions in the community and making a lot of money. So, it's like, in my business, you have financial disasters more than you have physical disasters. And I learned a long time ago, if I was to survive, although I'd be losing money on one side, the opportunities on the other side were there. So you had to dig in and you had to go play more. So it takes a lot of stamina, takes a lot of thought, takes a lot of commitment to stay in business after you get destroyed.
So what do you take away from this personally?
What do I take?
From a lesson point of view.
What I take away from it is that thank God that I believe in God, because without God, I never could have gotten through all the trauma that I had to go through. Without that in my life, I don't think I could have made it.
With an event of this scale, do you think it would have been possible to have been better prepared, or was it just a no-win situation?
Well, you know, part of this was caused by negligence on the part of government, and whether it be local or federal, and the other part was nature. The most devastating component of this situation was the man-made devastation. The reason why the canals failed is because they didn't design them properly, and therefore they were not built properly. If they would have been, then the city would not have flooded. And flood damage is 10 times worse than rain damage or roof damage. You can cure roof damage much more rapidly than you can flood damage.
Okay, I think, yeah, that's great.